Now from the KSN 16 Storm Center, your local weather authority. This is your forecast first.
Well, good Friday evening. I'm meteorologist Ray Foreman. We are looking at mild temperatures, actually warm temperatures tonight and tomorrow, but so far we have seen clear skies. Some clouds should be increasing, but nothing yet on the windows and more camera. It is clear across Joplin. Temperatures have been very warm today too. On the Freeman Health System First Alert Doppler, we have a clean sweep as far as rain goes. Temperatures easily into the upper 70s across part of southeast Kansas, and we'll be close to that again for tomorrow. Tonight, though, temperatures down to about 47, increasing clouds, a breezy southwest wind tomorrow. Temperatures getting back to around 70 at noon, 75 with maybe an isolated shower tomorrow. More widespread for the second part of the weekend, and I'll have more on the forecast in a few minutes. First, let's take a look at today's headlines with Jeremiah Cook.
Thank you very much, Ray. A new tool is in place to track how police use license plate reading cameras. And a spreading grass fire reaches a southwest Missouri home. Plus, Sooner State lawmakers take aim at teacher pay. Your KSN 16 local news at 6 starts now.
This is KSN 16, your local news at 6, with Jeremiah Cook and meteorologist Brett Scott.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. A Southwest Missouri attorney pleads guilty to defrauding his clients of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yesterday in federal court, 50-year-old Peter Lee of Stockton pleaded guilty to wire fraud. He said he devised a scheme to defraud his clients of money for personal use and then concealed his scheme by making false representation to his clients and financial institutions. He also admitted to using money from his clients to repay victims of prior thefts. Some of his clients were descendant estates and a special needs trust. He defrauded clients of almost $300,000 over a 6-year period. A sentencing date has not yet been scheduled. Police use the flock license plate readers. JPD has a new transparency portal dedicated to city flock cameras. Once a month, they review the stats and make sure the system is being used appropriately and not abused. In this report, it shows about 470 searches in the last 30 days. The monthly audit requires that each search be connected to an active investigation.
Our crime analyst runs the audits. She turns that information over to the Office of Internal Affairs. He reviews that information to make sure that everything looks on the up and up. And if there is a question about why did a certain officer run a certain tag a certain number of times, they just call that officer up and say, what's the deal?
The website shows more than 250,000 unique vehicles detected in the last 30 days on Joplin cameras alone. We'll have much more on this new JPD system coming up at 10. This new audit is the result of a JPD investigation involving allegations that an officer misused the flock system for personal reasons. That officer resigned, and the police department added a number of safeguards to prevent future issues, including the new audit system. Multiple agencies respond after a grass fire spreads and catches a home on fire. Shortly before 3 this afternoon, authorities received a call about a grass fire near 6321 Douglas Fir Road in rural Joplin. Investigators say the caller reported seeing sparks near a utility pole and the grass on fire. Multiple crews responded, including Reddings Mill, Joplin, Seneca, Neosho, and Quapaw. Firefighters say the fire spread from the grass and caught a house on fire. It's not known how much damage there was to the house. No individuals were hurt. However, 2 dogs were killed. Meanwhile, Oklahoma teachers could see a pay increase after state senators announced a plan to invest millions of dollars into the state's education system. According to a February 24th press release from the Oklahoma Senate, a plan has been introduced to fund a $254 million education investment package, and that package would include teacher pay raises and new classroom initiatives. Senators say the money would come from surplus funds in the teacher retirement system. Commerce School Superintendent Steve Moss says he hopes this will help with the current teacher shortage. He says 10 years ago, a Commerce Public Schools teaching position would attract roughly 15 applicants. Now, they often only receive 2 certified candidates. Commerce Middle School teacher Melissa Stebbins says this initiative could also play a key role in reducing teacher stress.
I know multiple teachers who have either evening jobs right now during the school year or other jobs during the summer or both.
Overall, state of Oklahoma, we are struggling with education right now, struggling with funding, struggling with results, looking for different answers, what we can change.
Senators say they would be able to redirect the funds because the TRS is financially secure. An invasive type of fish, that is, has made its way all the way from Asia to Missouri. It's known as the northern snakehead and is notorious for its ability to survive several days out of the water. Experts say they're normally found in murky, still waters because they thrive in swamp-like environments. What's more, its large size and aggressive appetite allow it to consume many of Missouri's native fish and poses a threat because it does not have any natural predators here.
So they're going to continue to just eat and eat and eat as much as they want, start to reproduce, and then that will really cause a lot of issues in our stream systems.
Ballard also told us Missouri has only a few confirmed northern snakehead sightings. However, anyone who has spotted one is urged to report it to the Department of Conservation. We have a link to how to do that on our website. Schools from across the region are in Carthage this weekend for one of the biggest song and dance competitions around. The 23rd Annual Soundfest Show Choir Competition began today at Carthage High School with performances from junior and senior high school students. The two-day event features dozens of choirs and hundreds of junior and senior high kids representing Missouri and Oklahoma in a variety of song and dance routines. Earlier today, Carthage High School show choir kids practiced their routines for the big weekend performance. Both performers and directors say it's an event for the entire community.
Coming to a show choir comp is a very rewarding experience. You get to sit in the crowd and watch groups of all shapes and sizes, levels. We have different classes. It's entertaining. You meet people from different schools. You get to experience the creation of something bigger than a lot of things that most people get to experience, and that is music, and that is fun and family.
I graduated from Carthage in 2003, and that was the very first year for this festival. So I experienced it as a student the very first year we hosted it, and now this is my 16th year actually running the festival. And for me now as a festival director, it's so cool because I get to see kids who find their passion out on the stage. They might not find their niche in sports or anything like that, but I have seen kids just come alive on the stage.
Soundfest continues tomorrow with high school performances. That begins at 9 a.m. and runs throughout the day. Coming up, insurance rates in the Sunflower State are among the highest in the nation. And former President Bill Clinton answers questions about Jeffrey Epstein. It's time first for this evening's Red, White, and Blue Salute. Kenneth Davis was a corporal in the United States Army and was also an MP during Vietnam. We salute you, sir, and thank you for our freedom. If you'd like to nominate a veteran, military personnel, or first responder, you can do so through our website.
Now, from the station you count on for local news that matters, this is KSN 16, your local news at 6.
Kansas is one of the most expensive states in America for homeowners insurance. Rates in Missouri are also rising. We have tips this evening courtesy of Bella Kurukta from our sister station in Kansas City.
Homeowners insurance is for this and this, and in the Midwest, particularly this.
We're known for, wind and hail and tornadoes.
For Sandy Lessig, the price of insurance was getting out of hand.
It's a gradual every year, but that's over time. You just watch it go up.
What she's experiencing is something most homeowners are too. Kansas is the 5th most expensive state in the country for homeowners insurance. That's from data analyzed by the Consumer Federation of America. In 3 years, Kansans are paying 14% more on premiums. In Missouri, 12%.
One of the major reasons for a rising insurance costs is that We're seeing stronger and more frequent natural disasters, more extreme weather.
Missouri Department of Insurance Director Angela Nelson says your rising rates still barely cover what it costs insurance companies to pay out claims.
Insurance companies lost money in 2024.
The companies are trying to fix their bottom line at the expense of homeowners and the frustration of contractors like Scott Ratzberg. Ratzberg's career started on rooftops.
Straight out of high school, worked 40 hours a week.
He's gone from dealing with decks to deductibles.
You can just click on different projects.
Fox 4 asked him how his work on hundreds of projects a year can face insurance hurdles.
We're trying to get away from replacing the roof when it actually needs to be replaced.
He's seeing companies increasing the amount of damage needed to qualify for roof replacement coverage.
Do you feel like this is moving the goalposts?
A little bit, exactly.
He also sees companies threatening to drop customers with aging roofs, like this one in the Waldo neighborhood. They don't make homes like this anymore, but they also don't use wooden shingles, which is why the homeowner is preemptively upgrading the roof to ultimately save money on insurance premiums.
Here is a bundle of what's actually going to go up there.
And if you have a class 3 or higher, your premiums could go down?
Absolutely.
That's one way to lower your premiums, installing impact-resistant shingles, which make up fortified roofs.
How can homeowners protect themselves and take some of this into their own hands?
Good question.
Michael DeLong with the Consumer Federation of America says you should shop around for coverage, consider higher deductibles, invest in ways to strengthen your home, and improve your credit score. The Consumer Federation of America supports state legislation that would provide homeowners with grant money to fortify their roofs. They say that would make their roofs stronger and lead to less damage and fewer claims. Missouri has 2 bills in the state legislature this year on that. Kansas does not. I'm Bella Caracta, Fox 4 working for you.
In national news, former President Bill Clinton is testifying behind closed doors before the Oversight Committee in New York as part of its investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. His testimony a day after former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton sat down for a deposition of her own. Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson has more.
It's not every day a former president faces lawmakers for a deposition. In his opening statement, former President Bill Clinton defended his wife and maintained he had no knowledge of any criminal activity connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Former President Bill Clinton sat in the hot seat Friday. House lawmakers arrived for a second day of questioning in Chappaqua, New York.
You know, President Clinton had, and Secretary Clinton confirmed this yesterday, Jeffrey Epstein was in the White House 17 times while Bill Clinton was president.
Lawmakers say they want to determine what prominent public figures knew about Epstein and his associate Ghislaine Maxwell's crimes. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton appeared Thursday, marking the end of a months-long legal standoff between congressional Republicans and the former first couple.
Well, it took 7 months to get the Clintons in here.
Both Clintons have denied knowing about Epstein's crimes. Neither have been accused of any wrongdoing. Democrats on the committee are now calling for another high-profile figure to appear.
We are now asking and demanding that President Trump officially come in and testify.
They say it's not about accusations, but accountability.
I think what is getting lost in much of this is that this is about justice for the victims and the survivors.
Leaving the White House Friday, President Trump answered a question about Clinton's deposition.
I like him, and I don't like seeing him deposed.
And committee members say additional interviews could still be scheduled as their investigation continues. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson, back to you.
Meteorologist Ray Foreman has your weekend forecast when we come back. First, here's a look at today's almanac.
And now weather from the KSN 16 Freeman Live First Alert Doppler Storm Center.
Well, good Friday evening. I'm meteorologist Ray Foreman. We are looking at more warm weather for tomorrow. The second part of the weekend includes some rain as we head into the afternoon, especially 1 to maybe 2 inches of rain in some spots. Active weather next week. We could even see a few storms as we get towards Wednesday and possibly again on Friday. Tonight, though, on the Windows and More camera, we are clear in Joplin. We have seen nothing but sunshine today. Very low humidity outside, too. That's why we don't have any cloud cover. As we head through tomorrow, we should start to see the humidity on the rise a bit, especially as we get into the afternoon. On the Freeman Health System, First Alert Doppler, though, temperatures still in the 70s this evening. In fact, we were hitting 80 degrees earlier today from Coffeyville through Veneta, getting close to Grove. So we've seen some warm temperatures, and we're going to see that repeat again tomorrow with highs in the mid to upper 70s, maybe close to 80 in a few spots here in southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma again. Now, to do that in February, we have to have a south and southwest wind, and we're going to see that tomorrow. Very gusty conditions. Outdoor burning still a bad idea because the humidity is very low. We're looking at relative humidities down below 20% as we head through the night tomorrow. That's when we start to see the humidity on the rise. We've got this system out to the west of us that's actually going to bring some unsettled weather for several days starting Sunday, but there's a huge ridge of high pressure in the way right now. We're starting to see that retreat. As it does, this low will start to approach by the time we get into early next week, which will bring us a more sustained chance for showers almost on a daily basis too. But headed into tomorrow, we're going to see more sunshine once again, at least early in the day. We have a clear sky tonight. Satellite and radar here shows high pressure to the south. The winds travel clockwise around that, and it's rather breezy because there's the opposite effect, low pressure across the northern plains. That's causing these winds to really increase with speed, and tomorrow the same thing. Eventually this front does move through the area, but not until we get into the afternoon. As a result, the winds change direction as we get into the afternoon as well, and it's going to be rather breezy. Now the rain, we finally have that southwest flow starting to change for us. That's going to move in as we head into Sunday morning. During the afternoon, it's going to be in the form of rain, but by Sunday night, we might see a few areas around Nevada, maybe Fort Scott with a little bit of a light wintry mix. As far as rainfall amounts, we could see several inches of rain by the time we head into the middle part of next week, and it's still going to be warm tomorrow. Still gusty with the winds by the time we head into Sunday, but it's out of the north, so that holds temperatures down. Now, as far as rainfall amounts, this is through Friday of next week, anywhere 2 to possibly 3 inches of rainfall. Now your forecast from your local weather authority. Temperatures 47 for a low tonight, increasing clouds tomorrow. High temperatures still in the 70s again, breezy and warm, maybe an isolated shower during the afternoon, but very spotty. It becomes more widespread Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We could even see a few thunderstorms too.
All right, thank you very much, Ray. Lauren Burgess joining us now. Lauren, 3 referees making history at a high school basketball game.
That's right, Jeremiah. At games, you might see 1 or 2 female referees officiating, but this time around, for one of the first times ever in that area, it was a full women crew calling the shots. So coming up in sports, we'll see how they're breaking barriers in the sports officiating world. Plus, Missouri Southern Baseball is back at home, gearing up for another MIAA matchup. Stay with us. Sports is next.
This is the Roper Kia 4-State Sports Report with Lauren Burgess.
Over at Missouri Southern, the Lions baseball squad was in action this afternoon. Hopping into the highlights, the Lions are looking to bounce back against Northeastern State after dropping a series to Rogers State. But it was a slow start offensively for both sides, but here in the second, Aiden Hinkle sends one deep to right field, bring home Cy Darnell for the first run of the ball game. The Riverhawks would tack on 3 runs in the third thanks to a pair of RBI doubles, but weren't able to manage much after that. Fast forward, now MSSU down 2 runs in the 5th when Braden Lukart connects with this one, sending it deep, and that's over the right field wall for a solo shot to spark some mojo in the offense. The Lions kept it rolling with Jason Lazo up to the plate, sending one to opposite field and over the fence for a ground rule double. That tied things up before the Lions added 7 more runs in the 7th, going on to win 13-3. Last night at a high school basketball matchup, 3 women referees took the floor as a full officiating crew for one of the first times in the area. And for these 3 female referees, it was a rare assignment and a meaningful one at the same time. In a game decided by execution and control, that standard starts with the crew in stripes. And last night, it was Jamie Bauer, Amy Sampson, and Carla Hall working together as an all-women officiating crew, a rare sight in high school boys basketball.
Mr. Turner's, he's like, you're pioneers, don't forget, which is true. It's a big deal though, like for women to be represented in sports has been, a long journey.
Officials say it's one of the first times 3 female referees officiated a high school basketball game in the state, largely because of the number of women referees.
You don't see a lot of females officiating men's basketball. You're starting to see more, especially in the professional world, the NBA and stuff like that. So I think it's neat to see that prospering of the, females jumping out there.
The trio says visibility matters, especially for young girls watching from the stands.
I think them seeing us on the court is going to give them a little bit more hope, a little bit more drive of, hey, I can do this.
And for Sampson, this moment carried a deeper meaning beyond the game.
When I look at it through the lens of my entire life, it's extremely meaningful because this is just one more way of me stepping into what somewhat has been for years a man's world, if you will, and, just saying like, hey, this is for everybody.
All 3 female referees say they know the job isn't easy, but
if you love it, don't give up. But there's going to be tough days. There are going to be days where coaches are going to, be up on your case about things. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make at least one mistake a game, maybe more, and just, brush it off.
Like Beyonce says, who runs the world? Girls. It's truly inspiring to see more women being represented in the sports world, and they're just helping pave the way here in the 4 states.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Lauren. Don't go anywhere. 30 more minutes of local news and weather are still ahead. When we come back, Sooner State senators look at sending more money to the classroom. Stay with us.